So everybody's talking about the Supreme Court's going to overturn abortion, and they're telling you have to vote Democrat. And the Democrats right now, I just showed in another video, another segment, could end this debate. They could codify the rights of women to choose abortion. They could do it right now into law, but they're not doing it. Why? Because they want to run on it. That's why. Because they got nothing else to offer you. They're not giving you health care. They're not giving you a living wage. They're not giving you, they're not ending the wars and investing that money back here. They're not building your infrastructure. They're not taking care of homeless people. They're not doing anything. They're not cleaning up the water in Flint. They're not doing anything.
I like how the Republicans, that's the only thing they're doing for their people.
Yes.
It's like, well, we're going to take away abortion, so we got that done.
That's
like,
right.
That's what you get here. That's your choices.
So in fact, this is an article from last December 2021, and the headline is Democrats hope threat to abortion rights will rouse voters. Of course they do. We're hoping people still fall for this scam. At least that's what that headline should say.
One more run.
So vulnerable Democrats from Nevada to New Hampshire are promising to make abortion a centerpiece of their political strategy heading into the midterm elections, being that an intense focus on the divisive issue can rally their voters to beat back a red wave and preserve their narrow majorities in Congress. So they've been planning on this since last December, at least. They know they're not going to do anything to help people. They wouldn't even give you a $2,000 check. They won't do anything for you.
You know how good their bets pay off, so this should work.
They won't relieve student debt. They won't make pot legal. They won't give you a minimum wage. They won't give you health care. They won't do anything for you. And this is all they have. So this isn't new. So the fact that thing got leaked from the Supreme Court, that's being done so you'll vote Democrat. That's what this is about. And the Democrats could codify that, and so it wouldn't be an issue. They could do that right now, and they won't. I already showed you that in another video. Democrats could codify the right of abortion right now so that the Supreme Court couldn't take it away. As the Supreme Court's conservative majority signals a willingness to weaken or reverse the landmark Roe v. Wade precedent, Democrats insist they can convince voters that the threat to women's health is real and present in a way that it wasn't before. By the way, I have a question. Who the hell can afford an abortion now that the Democrats has effed up every other aspect of life for people where they can't afford anything? People can't afford their medicine.
The $700 emergency, I believe it's called.
Yeah. Already braced for a rough year, Democrats have been searching for an issue that can both energize a base deflated by slow progress on various issues in Washington and repair the party's strained relationship with suburban voters who may be drifting back towards the GOP in the months since former President Trump left office. This is real. A significant portion of the electorate simply doesn't believe that the court will overturn Roe, acknowledged Jenny Lawson of Planned Parenthood Action Fund's vice president organizing engagement campaigns. But Lawson said she thinks that could change quickly. The court is doing that work for us, Lawson said. The world has changed. What's happened yesterday was earth-shaking. This is back when Texas was restricting abortion rights. And so now the court is doing the work for us. So anyway, here's Rob Reiner. He says there's only one way to save a woman's right to choose, our democracy and our planet. Vote for Democrats. There is no other choice. What would be amazing is if a Democrat actually kept their promise. When you voted for them and they actually did something to save our planet. Right now, Joe Biden has more oil wells and more fracking permits than Trump. So if you vote for Democrat, you're voting to kill our planet. They're not going to codify abortion rights because they need it to run on. So they're not doing that. And they don't care about this. Isn't a democracy. This is a plutocracy. This is an oligarchy. And of course, he doesn't know that because he's a 100-millionaire Rob Reiner.
I was calling him Dem DeLuise.
Yeah. What a great sales pitch to anyone who's pro-choice. You have no choice. That's what his... So if you're pro-choice, you've got no choice. You have to vote for Democrats. Isn't that amazing? Thanks,
I'm no choice. That's the position I take.
Thanks, Meathead. So here's Joe Biden running on it. Joe Biden says if the court overturns Roe, it will fail on our nation's elected. It will fall on our nation's elected officials at all levels of government to protect a woman's right to choose. So you better vote Democrat at all levels of government. They're doing it. They don't care if abortion gets overturned. The Democrats, then they can run on it, and they're all rich enough to get their own abortions if they need it.
And get what's called Cadillac abortions.
That's right, Cadillac abortions. And he says, and it will fall on voters to elect pro-choice officials this November. Here's Eric Swalwell, the Democratic congressman. He says there is one and only one way to preserve Roe versus Wade and protect a woman's right to choose, and that's vote blue in 2022. So that's all they got, because sooner or later it's gonna work. Sooner or later it's gonna work. Susan Sarandon stuck it right in his ear. She says, a lot of good that did in 2020. Dems are going to use this to fundraise and to get you to vote for them again, despite sitting on their hands for the last 2 years. Instead of actually standing for anything, their only strategy is scaring you into voting blue. That's right. Can everyone all at once tell Susan Sarandon to sit this one out? She's caused enough trouble. Us real progressives will take it from here. We'll take it from here? You mean from the point where you suffered repeated humiliating defeats despite having legislative majorities on multiple occasions? Is that the here you're going to take it from? With that track record, where can we reasonably expect you to take it? Take what from here? Take more losses from here? We'll take it from here. We know how to lose, Susan. Thank you.
I like that he's telling this woman to shut up, and he'll.
He's telling a woman
Missy,
to shut up
we'll
about abortion. Isn't that funny? Yeah, that's right.
Let a real man handle this.
We warned this. So this is the kind of tweet you're going to be seeing. We warned you for years, but some of you with lofty lefty platforms told people not to vote for Democrats to send a message in 2010. You didn't heed our warnings in 2016. Now you are shocked that the Republican Supreme Court will overturn Roe, but you should be ashamed. Yes, we didn't heed your warnings, and then the Democrats won anyway. They won anyway.
We warned you, and then we were elected.
And then the Democrats got elected. Now the Democrats have the majority in the Senate, the House, and the White House. What are you talking about? But, so by the way, you know who that was? That's Nancy Pelosi's daughter. She's the one who said that. You got to vote Democrats, dummy, about abortion. But
that's not the documentary one, right?
That's not?
Is that the same one? I thought her name was something different.
This is Christine Pelosi. I think that's the documentary woman.
Is it?
I don't know. Well, we got 3 computers there. We could Google it. It's impossible to find out. I only have 3 different internet connections to this fucking studio. I think we could find out if Christine Pelosi. But why is that funny? Because Christine Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, says you got to vote blue for abortion rights. Why is that funny? Because Nancy Pelosi didn't stick up for abortion rights. In fact, she told people to stop focusing on it.
Oh, maybe she was talking to her mom in that tweet.
Alexandra Pelosi is the documentarian.
Alexandra. So
Christine is a strategist for the Democratic Party.
Oh, okay. So still Nancy Pelosi's daughter.
Oh, so she's like, wow. So that's like real scumbaggery. She's lying on purpose. Yeah.
Here it is. Nancy Pelosi says Democrats' focus on abortion access is hurting the party. That was Nancy Pelosi. That was Nancy Pelosi.
I mean, what focus? They dropped it immediately after winning.
Immediately after winning. They did nothing. Here's another one. Walid Shahid says, as Democratic Party leadership condemns the Supreme Court ruling, a reminder that Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the Democrats in the House, her number 2 guy, Steny Hoyer, and a number 3 person, Jim Clyburn, are all endorsing anti-choice Henry Cuellar in his primary against Cisneros in Texas. Clyburn is doing a campaign rally in San Antonio with Cuellar tomorrow.
Cuellar?
Cuellar.
That's Oh, okay.
So they're out there. That's an anti-choice Democrat, and they're out stumping for him. You people are suckers. You're never going to stop being suckers. I'm done voting for Democrats and Republicans. I hope you are too.
That's violence.
That is violence. That's nihilism. But voting for the people who won't do a goddamn thing for you, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
You look, if you do it once or twice, I understand. But like, if you fall for this time, I mean, like, you, how do you fall for this many times?
Here's what Caitlin Johnstone says. She says, what's the correct response when a mainstream political party keeps communicating that they'll never do anything to help you, but you need to support them anyway, or they'll let their friends in the other mainstream political party take away your rights? You think I'm kidding? Hillary Clinton, for years, she's a conservative. So is Bill Clinton. They're not lefty progressives. They're conservatives. They're center-right conservatives. That's what Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are. That's what Joe Biden is. They're center-right conservatives. And if Joe Biden's a pretty radical conservative, if you ask me, still won't give people health care in the middle of a fucking goddamn pandemic. But anyway, here's what she said about abortion. She was willing to restrict it. Here she goes.
I am where I have been, which is that, if there is a way to structure some kind of constitutional restrictions that take into account the life of the mother and her health, then I'm open to that. But I have yet to see the Republicans willing to actually do that. And that would be an area where if they included health, you could see constitutional action.
So if the Republicans came with a bill to restrict abortion, she'd be open to it. That's what she just said. And then her running mate was 100% anti-abortion, Tim Kaine. And the Democrats could have codified this into law for the last 70 years, but they're not doing it. Why? Because they need something to run on. Want to see? Here is Elizabeth Warren. You want to see this grandstanding? Watch this.
Senator, how are you feeling? I am angry. Angry and upset. Angry and upset and determined. The United States Congress.
I am so angry at those darn Republicans.
Listen to her Native American rage.
You don't want to. That's right. That's a indigenous person gets upset. You got to look out. So here she goes.
Can keep Roe versus Wade, the law of the land. They just need to do it.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be.
This is what the Republicans have been working toward.
The Democrats right now have a bill that they won't vote on that would codify this law. They would ensure abortion rights for women. They won't pass it. They won't do it. And so they're pretending this is about Republicans. This is about the Democrats. They could codify the right for a woman to choose an abortion into law right now, today, and they won't do it. There's a bill in a Senate committee right now with 48 co-sponsors right now. Okay, here, let's hear this bullshit.
Stay for decades. They have been out there plotting, carefully cultivating these Supreme Court justices so they could have a majority on the bench who would accomplish something that the majority of Americans do not want. 69% of people across this country, red states and blue states, old people and young people, want Roe versus Wade to maintain as the law of the land.
So that's her being so darn angry at those Republicans. Well, it's the Democrats who have complete power right now, and they could codify that. Yeah, I can't. But what about those I'm so upset at them. Those gosh darn Republicans. The people who aren't in power right now.
Well, she was probably really happy that Bible beater there was yelling stuff at her. Like, oh, thank goodness, it's giving credibility to this.
Yes.
This performance.
So here's David Hogg. Remember, he's the guy from that Parkland shooting, right? Isn't that guy?
Yeah.
He says this isn't about the abortion ruling. is this about literally, it's about literally every issue that Democrats claim to care about, especially in my case, gun reform. Congress and national Dems aren't going to do shit. A, because the filibuster, and B, because they are horrifyingly incompetent.
That could all be under B.
That could all be under B. Because they could get rid of the filibuster if they wanted.
Wow.
And they should.
Yeah.
And they should get rid of it. So even that guy is done with the Democrats.
Wow.
So you see how desperate the Democrats are? Even that fucking guy is done with the Democrats.
David Hogg became a man. He finally had to grow up.
So what? This is a very clever tweet. You have to think about it. It's very clever. Watch what he's doing. He's being sarcastic. John Blackman says, does it anger you as much as me that Jill Stein, Susan Sarandon, Ralph Nader, and a loose alliance of socialists, communists, and anarchists won't codify women's reproductive rights into law of the land, despite them having complete control of the House, Senate, and White House? Very clever. So he's showing you how ridiculous you are to buy into Democratic scapegoating. And that's what they do. They like to scapegoat people for their failures. Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump because people were done voting for her corrupt conservative ass. And they were done voting for Democrats after 8 years of Barack Obama delivering fucking nothing except a health care plan that was a giveaway to the big pharma and health insurance companies. But he did kick 5.1 million families out of their houses. After that, they were done voting for Democrats. And look what you had to do to get Joe Biden elected.
You know, the Democrats might have failed on this one, but you got to give it to them. They're at least trying to keep their word to keep free speech safe, legal, and rare.
Safe, legal, and rare. This guy, John Kanapi's a blue check. He tweets out, men shouldn't be making laws about women's bodies. And he does it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. In all caps, he's yelling. Glenn Greenwald then straightens him out. He says, Roe v. Wade was a decision issued by 7 men.
Mic drop.
And that's a mic drop moment. And here's this. Desperate liberals beg Susan Sarandon for abortion rights. So the Democrats, so again, you're getting, in case you don't know, there's a bill sitting in a committee in the Senate, democratically controlled Senate, that has 48 senators co-sponsoring it, that would codify a woman's right to choose an abortion into law federally, so states couldn't overturn it. The Democrats won't vote on it. They won't even try. And now you know why you're a chump, because they need this. They need this to get you to vote for them. They need a bigger monster. Every 2-4 years, they're going to find a bigger monster. We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to JimmyDoreComedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at JimmyDoreComedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.